Welcome. Just so you know, I don't know if any of you have ever done this before, but I cannot see anyone. I can only see Luca's head, the top of Luca's head, that's it. So, thank you guys for being here. What an amazing day. We have some very interesting information today. I think we're going to go through some really cool stuff that the company is going through. Many of you know for some time, a few weeks now, I've been talking to you on the leadership calls and the weekly Friday calls about how the company is reshaping itself for the future so that we can move forward with a fantastic legal setup with a great revenue model, something we all talk about a lot, which is sustainability. And so the company is pivoting, and we've got this sort of three-legged stool I often talk to you about. The first part of the stool, the first leg of it, we've set up a company in Singapore, and we're going to be using a lot of the non-financial products out of there. But the second part that we've talked about is something that we call this venture fund, and that's what I really want to talk to you about today. We're going to give you guys here, we decided, and at home, a sneak peek into what's coming in the forum. Okay, some of you know a little bit about it, but we've never really given you the full disclosure. So we're going to take one big step forward today with that information, and then when we get to the big forum, we're going to give you the real detail. This is really super exciting. The main idea here is, right, that all the things we are putting together for you, for this community, is to take us into the future. Okay? Right now, when you talk about companies like ours around the globe, there is no one, and I can say this without hesitation, there is no one doing what we are doing the way we are doing it and with the people that we're doing it with. Okay? So, hopefully, this will all make sense to you at the end, and if it doesn't, we'll keep repeating it until it does. Okay, so they always start, they make me, I don't know why, but they make me talk about myself, which is kind of boring to do, but just quickly, so I can check that box. I have been working in capital formation, raising money, my whole entire life. I really have never done anything else. I practiced law for about 2 years, but that was really quick. I've always been intrigued by taking anything and adding money to it, mixing it up and seeing what happens. And that sort of has led me to this moment here on this stage, which is kind of a bizarre and weird story, but really it all comes down to my relationship with Greg and him asking me to come on board. And it's been an amazing adventure. I haven't done something like this. I'm usually the guy putting the money into the company, and you don't know who I am, and I'm sort of over there. I'm not really actively part of the C-level group, but for some reason, divine inspiration, the universe has gotten me here today. So I hope I have been somewhat successful in your own eyes. I hope I can continue to meet your expectations as we go forward and get to know you a little bit better. Okay, I don't have the clicker, so next slide. Now they're figuring out where is the clicker? How do we get to the next slide? I hear you guys talking back there. Who forgot to give him that? Why is he up there without it? Come on, man. I don't know. I can talk without it, but they have to be able to see it. Portuguese, is that what he said? No, it's that's a jacket back here and 2 bottles of champagne. We can do that. But we definitely need to change the slide because that's where all the good information is. And so while they figure that out, I will fill the air with some more information as best I can. You know, right before I came out here, we had a interesting meeting with some of the team captains and also guys that are really forming leadership. And really that's something that's part of everything we're doing here is really like leadership, what does that really mean to lead people? You know, there's all these different books and revelations. You're learning about it here. Andreas Thiessen is an amazing man, an amazing person, and really what he does here is just magical. But you know, really, when you talk about leadership, you really want to be with people that don't just talk but act. For me, leadership is about action, right? You know, there's this old kind of a joke that says, you know, there are 3 frogs sitting on a lily pond, and one decides to jump off. So the question is, well, how many are left? So naturally everyone goes 2, one jumped off. No, because decision without action is nothing, right? I said that he decided to jump off, not that he did jump off. So the lesson there is really, you know, take action in your life. Don't just talk, right? Take action. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that after this session here. I'm going to talk to you about, like I promised this morning, about some sales techniques and things that I find very interesting that I think are more psychology, but that really I think have a really strong impact on your life personally and can lead you to a lot more success. Well, doesn't look like we've had too much success in getting this slide changed. But that's absolutely critical to do that. So again, part of what we're going to learn here about the company is the next step. We call it the venture fund, okay? Or it's a good thing we're a technology company. So it's up here, but it's not here. So I'll have to stand to the side here so I don't miss anything. Okay, so what we have here is something absolutely exciting. I can promise you that no one is doing this, okay? Not even close. This is a compilation of some really long weeks, hours, days, and months. And I think when you go to the big forum and afterwards, you're going to get a level of detail that's going to blow your mind. So let's jump into it. Again, this is just a quick overview, a sneak peek into what is coming. So remember the 3-legged stool of the main company, Singapore, that will be called education, financial products. And then this second leg, which we're calling the venture fund, we are going to form that, and all of the financial products will end up in there, okay? And you, the community, are going to get to participate in this in a way that I don't think anyone is doing it like this. Okay, so what we've created, and this will look similar to in the back office, like visually, like you know where the part of the when you go onto the main landing page, my panel, I think at the top, you'll see the charity wallet, if you will. So you're going to have this piece of information up there. It's going to be very similar to that. And what it is it's going to have a venture budget, and there's going to be accumulation there, and you're going to be able to see that. So what is it, and you know, where does it come from, and you know, what are you going to do with it, and how does that affect me personally and my team? And so we're going to answer those questions right now. So Qubit.life corporate venture wallet is created from a percent of the platform user, that is you, okay? A total bonus compensation plan, okay? There's a formula back there, we'll get into that a little later on, but we call this really the venture program wallet, or we love acronyms, so VPW, okay? And the VPW funds are going to be invested by the company, us, okay, and the management team, into startups, okay? Startup companies, basically from 0 to 2 or 3 years old, and we'll get into what they look like, how we're going to choose them, and how we're going to figure out which are the best ones on another day, okay? But just assume for purposes of this conversation that there's a process that we've invented that selects and gets to the very basic bottom line of which are the best possible companies that deserve our money, right? This is our money, and this is our effort together. So the VPW funds will be invested by the company into startups. The profits, the activity, are going to be able to be used to sustain the ecosystem. When I first came here, everybody was like, you know, they'd ask this question. They'd say, Mark, you know, what are you going to do to create sustainability? Everybody used this word. I don't really know if many people really understood what the word they used, but it seemed to be like some industry word that everybody throws around. It's got to have sustainability. What is sustainability? You know, to me, sustainability is just revenue, right? You need cash flow. Without cash flow, you're nothing, right? And if you want to learn about cash flow and what to do it, I suggest you all take a look at a guy named Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy. Go and Google his name and have a look at this guy and what he's talking about cash flow and what he's doing with his money. I think you'll find it very interesting. And so in that regard, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking those profits and we're going to be making, let's call them bets, smart bets on startup companies, okay? And as they progress and grow, and the value of those companies grow, so will our value grow alongside of them. And then ultimately what we get to is called an exit strategy by way of either sale or going through a public offering. And we see somewhere between, on the low side, 5 times the money we put in to up to maybe 200-300 times the money that we're investing. And what you're going to find out actually is the process for selecting these companies is really going to be intriguing when you guys get down to it. And I think that's where you're going to have the most fun. I'm going to let that hang out there for a little bit. But the platform users venture contribution, right, that's the money that's going into the wallet, the VPW, are also added to your first line. You're going to get credit back for that on your first direct line one. A really amazing formula, okay? I think maybe I should let the translation filter through. Okay, so that will create higher ranks and higher rank bonuses for you. Now, some of you have already broken the bank, and so we're going to have to probably add more ranks for you. But for those of you who are still trying to catch up, this is going to be a way that you can get there a lot faster. And so this is a way of giving back to you guys. Okay, and finally, the percent of the contribution, okay, is going to be automatic and it's dictated by your rank, okay? Obviously, the higher rank, higher the contribution, but when it flows back through to you, okay, on the other side, you will be rewarded commensurately. So there'll be a proportional reward. So this is really, these 3 points, I worked with our team really, really hard to figure out how to just say 3 things, 3 main points, to let this sort of seep in and get an understanding of it, okay? So take the photos, we're gonna have a fuller presentation, you can ask questions about it, but this is where we're gonna start, right? And then on the back side, we'll fill it in with how we're going to select these companies, and you'll learn more about that at the big forum. So, okay, so just a really quick, easy explanation. When we made this slide, it was really quite full, but we pulled all the information out just to give you a very simple idea. So this is the startup company, okay? And from a funding perspective, we use a term, it's called stakeholder. A stakeholder, by legal definition, is an entity or person that becomes the owner group in an entity. So we are going to become a stakeholder. Qubittech is going to become a stakeholder in the startup, and we are going to invest into that company a large part of that initial capital. And in return, we will get a huge amount of equity in the company. And then when the exit comes, the exit strategy comes, in theory, that's where we will make an enormous amount of money. So this is it. This is the next step in our evolution. Again, no one is doing what we are doing. You can have absolute confidence. If you're sitting in here and you've struggled with Qubittech and I love the company, I hate the company, I want to go forward with it, but I don't want to go forward, there's this other project out there, hey, and I'm telling you right now, and for those of you who know me, I'm a pretty direct, straight, honest guy, as best as I can. I usually try to tell it like it is, whether it's good or bad, okay? I'm pretty confident, given where we are at and what we are doing, that no one has this formula. No one has this formula. And when you see what's coming next, and how we add to it, if you don't love it now, you're gonna then. So I think there is possibly one more slide behind this, or is that it? I forgot. We had some slides in and then we removed them. I think that's it. I think that's the whole thing. So look, it's really important to be prideful in what you do. Okay, you know, some of you, I'm blown away. You've traveled far and wide, not once, not twice, not 3 times. Some of you have been, we've done 5 base camps since we left Dubai. Some people can't get out of their house and drive down the block to get a glass of milk in this environment. But somehow, some way, this team, and a lot of you, I see your faces everywhere, on the same, have come again and again and again and again, no matter where we are. To me, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. There's something special about what we're doing. Sometimes we can put our finger on it, and sometimes we can't. And I think when you go back out, after you leave here and you leave the big forum, and we go back for the next landing of what we're doing here, you're going to remember this little slide here. And you're going to remember the birth of really this idea and this room. And you are the first people hearing it, along with the people who have bothered to chime in on Zoom. Okay? And I'm really, really, really proud of all the people in this room, all that you guys have accomplished. It's mind-bending to me. I've been around Wall Street a long time, and I've seen a lot of stuff. And to me, this is the most fun I've ever had in business. And it's very exciting. So thank you so much. Before we go, once this is over, I'm going to wait a minute or two, and then I'm just going to jump into the sales program, okay, that we talked about earlier. So thank you so much, everybody. Really, this has been amazing. Guys, you can...
Can we have a big hand for Mark? Thank you so much.